Hello, good morning. Welcome to your Daily Hope Booster, also known as your virtual Hope Chat. It is Monday today, and today I would like to talk about guilt versus shame. So if you watched yesterday's video where I totally butchered Brene Brown reference to shame and couldn't remember the other word that associated with that, and you were yelling at the video telling me that the word was was guilt that I was looking for, I appreciate that. I took it in by osmosis and thought that I would talk about what she describes as the difference between shame and guilt. I think that's really important to talk about right now because I imagine a lot of us are feeling some version of shame and guilt in how we're approaching our life these days, whether it's feeling like we're not doing enough at work while we're also balancing childcare, or alternating between are we homeschooling our kids enough versus just letting them feel through their emotions and maybe just have some downtime and that kind of thing. And depending on what kind of self-talk we have going on in our minds, or what kind of trauma we have in our backgrounds and in our histories, we could be on a scale between shame and guilt very, very easily, and it's quite unique to all of us, I think. So I'd like to talk about the difference between shame and guilt as Brene Brown describes it, as well as some tips, of course, on how you can increase your hope levels coming from a place of where you are on that spectrum between guilt and shame, which is clearly game when you put the two together. Anyhow. So, Brene describes shame as a focus on self. So if you think shame is I am bad, or I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Shame is related to something, believing that something that you are, something bad, something, that you have to feel shameful for because it's intrinsic to who you are. The difference in guilt is a focus on behavior. So as opposed to being something that you are, it's something that you do or a choice you made. So if shame is I am bad, guilt is I did something bad. Do you see the difference there? So if shame is I'm sorry, I made a mistake, guilt is, shame is I'm sorry, I am a mistake. Guilt is, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. So it's who you are versus how you behave or how you act. So as you can see, with guilt, there's a fair bit of action built in there. Because if you have made a mistake or made a choice that you're not happy about now that it's made, or you acted in a particular way that you're not pleased with, clearly, we can change the future behavior, change the future decisions to do something different. So I would really like to focus on our guilt and our shame and how we can use or how we can come from a starting place of either of those places and help to increase our hope levels because of that. So we're going to do this in three ways. We're going to talk about believing in yourself, believing in others, and then believing in your dreams. Because as we know, hope theory says goals plus agency plus pathways. Dreams and goals are very, very important to increasing our hope. So, believe in yourself. This one is mostly related to shame. If we are believing in ourselves, we can recognize and have self-forgiveness for things that have happened to us, things we believe that we are, when it's likely just based on our responses to things that have happened to us. There's a lot of self-forgiveness available here. If you have trauma in your past, if you behaved in a particular way because of this trauma or because of a scenario of something that has happened to you, self-forgive yourself for responding in a particular way. It is very highly unlikely that you are a bad person. In fact, the chances are significantly and exponentially awesome that you are an awesome person. You are not what has happened to you. You get to choose what you do with that, how you learn from it, how you grow with it, how you can let it go and grow from it. At the Rachel Hollis conference, we talked about how if you're not growing, you're dying. So if you can forgive yourself, recognize that trauma happens to you, and that you can grow through it through a ridiculous amount of hard work and awful trauma supported counseling and therapy and all those things. It is going to be hard work. It is going to be awful, but when you get through it, it is going to be awesome. So self-forgive, recognize that trauma is something that has happened to you, not because of who you are or the bad things that you often will believe about yourself, that it is just behavior and choice, and you can move through that. Also important, if you have a little voice in your head that is negative, is contributing to that feeling of shame, that sends you down that spiral that says you are not good, you are a horrible person, and you behave in only horrible ways, smash that person back into the closet. If you need to give that person a name so that you can, figure out what that person looks like in your head and kick that person to the curb. If you can sense that negative energy, that negative self-talk, flip it around so that you're only thinking about positive things for you. Again, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be hard to recognize it, and it's going to be hard to turn it around, but you can totally do it. As we talked about a few weeks ago, to change your mood, to interrupt that negative cycle, you can do things like have a dance party, go outside and breathe for a bit, journal, meditate, anything to interrupt that negative self-talk, and then kick that negativity to the curb. Okay? So you can believe in yourself. You are awesome. You are wonderful. You are a human being who is trying to do their best. So see what you can do to get rid of that guilt and get rid of that shame, and believe in yourself as a wonderful human. Okay? Let's believe in others. So if we can believe in ourselves, the chances are good that we can also believe in other people. I think the first thing to do there is about compassion. It's about curiosity. It's about recognizing that the behavior of someone is likely the symptom, not the cause. So if you see a child, an angry adult, anyone who is behaving in a way that doesn't seem like their regular behavior, or if it is their regular behavior, why they're responding in that way, try to get to the cause of that. Do they have trauma? Are they extra stressed? Is there something in their life that they're really worried about and they're coming from a place of emotion as opposed to a place of logic or rationality? Think about what the source of that pain is, and recognize the symptoms for what they are, as opposed to that there's something wrong with this person. People want to be good people. At their core, people are good people. And so if we can recognize and believe in other people from a place of compassion and a place of knowledge and a place of empathy, imagine how real and supported and seen other people would feel by you. Do you know what I mean? If you can come at them from a place of compassion and non-judgment, recognize that their behavior is often the symptom, they will feel seen and loved, and you can hold space for them to talk it out loud, figure out what it is that is bothering them, and help them to find alternatives, that pathways thinking, towards a better future for themselves, getting to the source of those symptoms. Make sense? So believe in yourself, believe in others, and then believe in your dreams. If you can get to a place where you are not feeling shameful, where you can get rid of the guilt, be self-forgiveness of yourself and of others, you've already done most of the hard work. So if you can do that, believe in yourself and others, take that further. Take that further to believe that you can do hard things. You can do more hard things. And some of the hard things, most of the hard things, are the only things that are worth it. So believe in yourself to believe in your dreams. Set some goals, set some ambition for who you can be, who you want to be, who you are, for a more hopeful future, right? The future absolutely will be better than today because you are awesome. And you will do awesome things to continue growing into who you want to be, right? Believe in your dreams because you can totally do it. You've done it. Give some thought to some of the things you've overcome. Often we will forget what we've done because we're so focused on what we haven't done. Spend some time in reflection, in when you're thinking about self-forgiveness, give some ideas to the hard things you have overcome in the past. You know, have you broken up with that friend who made you feel terrible? Have you put that horrible self-talk creature back into the closet at a pivotal moment? Have you made a different choice than you would have made in the past? Celebrate those things. When I was working in the wine industry, I talked about celebrating Tuesday, because we need to celebrate those awesome, seemingly inconsequential moments, because they are awesome and they matter and you matter. And believing in yourself, believing in others, and then believing in your dreams, that is one of the best, most fabulous ways to a better future and to increasing your hope levels. I hope this has been helpful. Looking forward to talking more tomorrow. As always, let me know if there's anything I can do for you, any questions I can answer, any specific research that you're looking for, references that would really help you along your hopeful journey, and I am here for that. Talk to you again tomorrow.